Another beautiful but common succulent I've got here is called Echeveria Morning Beauty. So that is my longissima grown in full sun. The one on the right is in the shade and the one on the left is out in full sun. From a common succulent, it has now become Korean Huthspinke succulent. Hello there, my name is Liz, a self-confessed succulent addict. Welcome to my channel, Growing Succulents. Echeveria Big Red after winter. This is the bad thing about growing succulents where you get frost, because after the winter season, this is what happens to a lot of my not so frost hardy succulents. Others, like this one, died. This is probably one of my LizK that shriveled up. Anyway, this needs cleaning up because I need to put something very special back into here. There has been a couple of plants that has been growing in here all through winter. This plant here needs to be repotted. My poor Big Red, and it doesn't look like much at the moment, but this will come back in spring and summer. So we're already, the first month of spring is already over. We're already on the second month, and this is dry. I don't want to pull off the leaf, so instead I just cut off the damaged part, so that way it's much better to look at. Now that one I hit it, so might as well remove that. This one now that's already too old, it's not good for propagation. But this one here has been living in the shadow of, this is Echeveria Bees Knees. Here in Australia, this is considered a common Echeveria. You can get this, or I got this from my local hardware store. So it's not one of those rare Korean There's a few people who get the impression that anything that's colorful has got to be Korean. Not so. Koreans has been known for growing colorful succulents. As to what the secrets of making their succulents colorful, we don't know. But I just hear someone said stress. Yes, maybe, but anyway, my so-called common succulents here that are just so pretty. So that is bee's knees, and this one now looks like a bee's knees, but this is a lemon and lime. So another common succulent that needs cleaning up. You can see it's all dry leaves in the bottom here. We're just gonna go take that off and clean it up. And this one has been growing in here open to the elements, so which means it gets morning sun, midday sun, and afternoon sun, and also frost in winter and heat in summer. Another beautiful but common succulent I've got here is called Echeveria Morning Beauty. So this Morning Beauty has even got a weed here in the corner. So, oops, I can't pick up the weed. Okay, come on. There you go. Now, this one is cleaning up as well. It gets a bit damaged as well during winter, but still. Oh, look, I've got a baby from, what are you? I know you. Not Ghost 61. There you go, Ghost. My Echeveria Ghost. Look, baby growing out in the open. So I probably need to bring this inside to put this in my grow light to make it grow fast. So it's been sitting here all winter, and then now it produces a baby. Now this one now needs cleaning up as well. So it might look a bit ratty or not so nice. It's another term we call a bit dirty looking, tatty and ratty and raggedy. But anyway, this one is just beautiful with all that pink tinge around it. And also this one here, this is actually my oldest, Mummy Morning Beauty. Subsicilis is another name for Morning Beauty. So this is also a common succulent. This is not some rare Korean ones. But there's lots of common succulents that when grown properly, they will color up. This one is, oh hang on, I just leave that there. Longissima, which is the round form of longissima. And this one has been covered. This is just to show you how easily you can color up or not color it up. So this bee's knees has been growing over here, and that's been shadowed by the bee's knees. Look. So now, had it been grown open like that, enjoying full sun, this is what it would look like. So that is my longissima grown in full sun. So if you're going to say this is a Korean succulent, well, for us, it's just a standard Australian stock. So whether this longissima round form is, I think, a tissue cultured form of Echeveria longissima. So now, if I compare them with each other, you can see, hang on, it's a bit hard to film this. Okay, I'll take off this one here. Oh, I just knocked one of the baby heads of my morning beauty. Anyway, so that is the difference of the color. Look at that. See? So you've got the red one on the right in the sun, and that one is just out in the sun, out in the open as well, but then there's just one plant blocking it and the entire color changes. This one here is one of my Golden Glow. Another common succulent that is now has got inflorescence. Now every single one of these, okay, I just need to chop this off, is a potential another plant. So from one plant I have a potential of, oops, don't drop, okay, come here, of 5, 10, 15, say 20 plants that I could get and grow from this one. So not all of them will take on, some of them will just wither and die, but anyway, I'll just put this here. I'll come back to you later on. But this Golden Glow is also another very common succulent. So this is a standard stock. I didn't even notice I've got this other one here. So anyway, this one now, we just break that off. So another baby. There's probably some aphids in it as well, but I need to treat that. And another baby here. So this one now, I'm going to take the whole lot off. Break that off. Oopsie. There you go. Another baby. And, wow. That's why I need my scissor. And chop them quite hard. There you go. Okay, so but next year I'll have at least 30 babies again. Now this one now, I'll take that one off as well. So it's cleaning up. So this one, another common succulent, which looks so pretty. It's got green and a tinge of pink, and you have some more dry leaves in the bottom. So this one now, I haven't even transplanted this in my own soil. This is still, when I bought it, it's still in its original soil that it came in, and out in the open to the element, and it has weathered the frost in the past. I have killed a couple, 4 of Golden Glow, because I kept putting it in, oh, this one too, the Kalanchoe, because I kept, it needs to be cleaned up, because I kept putting it in my garden. So now I stopped putting it in my garden because they need a certain amount of protection. They're not really all that frost hardy. Mine is 4, and they can survive if you grow them. So say for example, if you buy them from the shop straight into the garden, they would just, for sure, 100% they will die. But if you acclimatize it, like what I'm doing here now, so this one now, I'm going to be putting this in my garden, but slowly acclimatizing it. So without changing the soil, this is what it looks like. Now, I bought another one at the same time, but the other one, I changed the soil. So when I bought them, they were only like small plants, a little bit bigger probably than this one, but only because of the shape, but it's about that size really. So if you put my hand there, so that's about the size when I got it. So this one probably was a little bit bigger because of the shape of the longer leaves, because I can't find any plants near me that sort of look similar. Aha, there you go. So from that size, okay, what it is now, it was about this size, like the Gennmei-Tennyo when I got it. So if I put my hand there, so that's about the span of my hand across. And now if I put my hand here, it can also cover my whole feet if I've got my feet in there. But anyway, but I got small feet. No. Now, kidding aside, if you change the soil and grow it even in the shade, because a lot of you say, oh no, I can't grow it out in the sun. This one now gets full shade in this area because it's being covered by this shelf here. From the back, it doesn't even get morning sun because I put it quite high intentionally just to see how it will color up. And again, that lemon and lime next to it, it's gorgeous. Also in the shade, the two of them. So hang on, I'm trying to compare the two now. So this lemon lime, oh my goodness, see, lemon lime and lemon lime. Out in there, it's the soil. You have to change your soil, because if you don't change your soil, they're just gonna be green. Okay, now let's compare the two. Now these two, they look very similar, except the other one on the left is grown in my advanced soil mix, and the one on the right is still in the same original pot or soil that it came in. Now the one on the left, it just looks so pristine, beautiful, almost perfect. And coloration, porcelain-like skin. The one on the right is all got little freckles from weathering the frost. Okay, just put it down. So that is the difference between your soil mix, is what colors up the succulent. So my soil mix that I use, I'm not saying use my soil mix, but I'm just showing you the difference of what a soil mix can do. So had I put this probably in my master succulent soil mix, maybe it wouldn't have colored up so much. Now I'll put you back here because I just like it where you are. So now this lemon and lime that you see here, so if you can remember the color, I will take a snapshot of that and just sort of to compare it. Or even this one, which is more colorful. If it's grown in the shade, so this is still not in the shade. This is still, I'm just pulling back and I'm slowly gonna walk over here to where my mother plant is. This is my mother lemon and lime. Some of them at the back, you can see, is being colored by the sun. It's hitting it right now. So this one is in the shadow, that one is the sun shining a little bit right now, even though it's overcast or a bit cloudy. But you can see my hand. So it's also being shadowed by this pot here that has a bit of weed growing on it. So this one's now, the face, this area here that's being covered. So right now, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. So right in midday, it would hit the sun here and even probably partially here. But the rest of the day is just in the shadow. So it's not coloring up as much as the other one. So another common succulent that will depend on where you plant it and also your soil mix. So the one that's grown in the shadow there is in my advanced soil mix. This one is in my master succulent soil mix. And this one now is also in my master succulent soil mix, the most colorful one, but she just gets a lot more sun. Another beautiful, colorful, common succulent is called Huthspinke. So they call it Huthspinke in Korea, but in here it's actually Douglas Hut. Or for marketability, Huthspinke sounds better than Douglas Hut. Anyway, this one now has been growing out here in the shade, and that's where it's growing all its life. This is just cuttings from my mother plant, and I'll take you to the mother plant. This is the mother, my mother Douglas Hut. Beautiful color. So another common succulents. So these ones, people just sort of gives them away because they're just so common here in Australia anyway, because they put them in arrangement. They're so colorful, and you can get them for $3, $4 a plant, one head. in our local hardware store even. And now, if I compare the two, look at the color. The one on the right is in the shade or semi-shade, and the one on the left is out in full sun. So different times of the year, the plant will color up differently. But some, you can keep them in the shade and they will become beautiful. And others, if you keep them in the shade, they don't look so hot crush at all. This one now needs to be cleaned as well. So I'll come back to you later on, and then we'll show these good folks another Douglas Hut or Huthspinke that I've been coloring up. So these two, I've been growing them as part of my bonsification program that I'm running here. So I'm trying to reduce them to make them smaller so I can put them in a pretty pot. Those 1, 2, 3 plants, they all came from one plant and it just reduced over time and turned into that. So these ones are grown in full sun because I kept thinking, yeah, once you grow them in full sun, everything will color up. Well, you be the judge. I'll put the one that's grown in the shade now. Which of these three belongs together? Well, obviously, these ones here, the smaller, more compact one, have more intense orange on the edges. But this one is just pure pink. So if you put the three together, okay, I'll swap it. You can see the difference of the colors now. This one is just pops out. So it's not necessarily have to be grown out in the full sun to get the full color. You have to choose your plant. You have to know your plant. And I'm able to show you now which plant you can get that you can grow in the shade and also color up. So, but the important thing is your soil mix. So if you amend your soil mix to suit these succulents, then you will get the colors that you are chasing after, like I do. So this Douglas Hut now has now become, from a common succulent, it has now become a Korean Huthspinke. Copper Canyon, this one came from out in the open there. And I'm going to compare this one with my Copper Canyon that is grown in sort of shady part. This one actually experiences afternoon sun. So this one on the right is grown in the shade. Another common, very common succulent, Copper Canyon. And this is not a Korean succulent again. So I don't know who made Copper Canyon, but anyway, this one now in the shade. Look at the difference in the color. So that's it, folks. I could go on and on and on as to how wonderful these succulents are if they are grown in the right environment. And I am seeing my Sedeveria Green Rose, which again is supposed to be green. That's probably why they call it green, because the people who's been growing it might have been growing it in the shade, or I don't know where they grow it. But then to me, this shouldn't be called green rose, because as you can see, it's just a beautiful rose. Here in the shade, the green rose is green, but out in the sun a while back, you've seen that it can go pink. So do you want a Korean succulent or a homegrown common succulent? That's all for now, my lovelies, and I'll see you on the next video.